Find yourself cozy in your bed. Rest your head against your pillow and give a little gratitude for the creator of this pillow and of your bed, the team who developed these things, and the people who built them had you in mind, caring that you always get a full and relaxing night's sleep. Notice how comfortable you feel, knowing you have nowhere to be for several hours, so you can relax deeply right now. Make sure you've turned off all the lights and that there are no distractions. This will help you get the best night's sleep. Can you remember some of the things you've said about yourself today in your own head? Were there some beliefs that you surely thought represent who you are and always have? What if I told you that those were limiting beliefs, because we create what we think and speak? Therefore, if you always said to yourself, "I'm bad at math," you will actually fulfill that statement. This is because we as humans create our own self-image. And usually our minds and bodies respond to these thoughts about ourselves. It's similar to a soldier being given an order that must be carried out. It's more simple than it may sound. So as you get cozy in your bed and begin to let your mind slow down from the long day of action that you've had, you can listen to this wonderful story about how we become what we think. Julie is a kind person. The people she loves and knows, and those she works with, never have a bad word to say about her. Yet Julie is saying things about herself that are limiting her, making her who she is. Since she was very little, Julie was told that she was the overweight girl, that she was just big-boned, and that's how she would always be. And that's who she was. So she always struggled with her weight. In Julie's mind, she was never happy about how she looked. Even though she'd been told her whole life that being big was who she was, it still didn't feel right to be so large. She tried different diets, but couldn't sit through the cravings. Each time she ate something unhealthy, she would say to herself, "Oh well, I'm just fat and that's how I've always been." And as she got older, it became more difficult to move her body around. Her friends would invite her places, but she found it was too exhausting and emotionally draining to think about going places where other people will notice that she has a problem with her weight. One day, Julie became fed up, and she decided that it was time to make a real change. She browsed the internet for days, trying to figure out what actually works for weight loss. And she stumbled upon some weight loss success stories. As she listened to people's testimonials, she started to see some things these people had in common. she saw their very real transformations, how they looked healthy and fit. These inspirational people changed the way they talked to themselves. Instead of calling themselves overweight, they said, "No, I am healthy and I care for my body." And instead of succumbing to cravings, they said, "No, I am stronger than any craving." Changing the way we talk to ourselves seems like a powerful way to change your life. The advice was that every time the thought came up that I'm fat, you are actually giving that thought power, and your mind begins to carry out that order if you don't challenge its validity. So that following week, every time that Julie thought a limiting belief, she would say, "No, I am healthy now, and I lose weight little by little every single day by making healthy choices." The first day of this new way of thinking, she successfully avoided getting a snack out of the vending machine at work. The craving came, but she looked in her purse and saw a couple of dollars, and the same old thought came in, "I'm hungry." And instead, she said, "No, I'm not going to buy an unhealthy snack. I don't need it." Her belly ached. Oh, her body did not like that she finally said no to its craving. So her stomach twisted and turned and acted very hungry for that typical unhealthy snack. She stood her ground and thought to herself, "I'll make it through this hungry feeling. It's not going to kill me anyways." And before she knew it, the ill feeling of hunger completely faded away. She survived a craving. "That's it?" she said out loud. "My hunger didn't even last that long." Before, she thought that if she didn't attend to eating when she felt hungry, that it would get worse and worse until she was starving. However, sitting through a craving and feeling this feeling was a little challenging, but in the end, it didn't even continue. Maybe I've been reading this feeling wrong my whole entire life. She began to sit and wait when she first felt hungry and timed how long these feelings would last. Day after day, she would watch the clock as soon as she got hungry and see how long it would take for the feeling to pass away. During the first week of practicing this new technique of self-awareness, she would watch the clock and see that it only took 25 minutes for the feeling of hunger to pass. Then on the second week, only 15 minutes went by. Then on the third, 10 minutes. That's all it took to ride the wave of a craving. Julie's technique was looking at a clock and waiting patiently. She began to sit and wait for the first feeling of being hungry and just waiting and seeing what happened. And Julie didn't even have a scale at home because the last thing she wanted to know was her weight. But one day she woke up and grabbed her favorite comfy jeans and put them on and they were slipping off of her waist. Wow, she thought. All I did was watch my cravings and observe them, and I lost weight. This is amazing. It really does matter how you talk to yourself. She didn't even expect this. She actually had to dig out a belt from the bottom of her closet. When was the last time she needed a belt? All she did was ride the wave of a craving instead of giving in, and look at the progress it made. From now on, she had a heightened awareness of her self-talk. She would hear her negative self-talk, but she didn't believe it anymore. Those kind of thoughts aren't even hers. She has proven to herself that it isn't true. All cravings really did were get very strong and then just fade away if she didn't give in to them. She started to see herself as healthy, and months later, she was slimming down, little by little, looking better each day. Julie became an expert at paying attention to her inner voice, and the more she challenged these old stuck thoughts, the more she realized how many lies she was telling herself. Julie had to get all new clothes because none of hers fit anymore. And when she gave away those old clothes, she said, "This is who I used to think I was, and I will never think that about myself again." As you drift and dream to a sleepy land, think of Julie and how she watches the things she says in her head, and she challenges toxic thoughts. You could be unaware at how many things you are saying to yourself that are creating an unhelpful reality, but as soon as you catch them, you can gain control over your reality. You can defeat your own toxic behaviors. Have a wonderful night's rest, and remember, everything you think becomes reality.